ended. Please, Democrats, embrace social media and new media. It clearly works. Harry Hassan wasn't there. He wasn't there in the gym. He wasn't shooting up threes with Zoran, right? But he was a hanger-on that wanted to basically point to social media as the reason for success when it's not the case. That's not like social media played a role in this, but it's not like Harry Hassan played a role in this. He didn't say nothing about Zoran. He didn't play a fucking role in this at all. The impact that social media has at the end of the day is a megaphone, okay? That's what it is. I am a vessel. I am a weapon that you can wield. I'll use myself as an example, as someone with a fairly large, fairly active community of like organizers and people who are door knockers themselves. Like, I'm a megaphone. What you say into that megaphone matters, okay? If you take the megaphone that I am and yell into it and you say a bunch of dumb shit, if you say things are actually fine, a better future is not possible, then people are going to hear you and they're not going to like what you have to say. Do you understand? That's it. The reason why this worked so perfectly was because of what Zoran was saying, what his policies were. I don't know why this is so confusing for Democrats. I feel like they have whipped their base of support into winning primaries first and foremost so aggressively. They've basically created this media environment, this media ecosystem that revolves around panicking and like pushing away any sort of leftist mobilization and leftist momentum, that they've lost the plot about what it is. They lost the plot about what it is to be a politician in a democratic country. The entire point of democracy is to go out to your base of support and say, what do you need? And then they tell you, this is what I need. Fix this. Housing, major issue for me. Please fix it. And then you go, got you. I got you. Here's what I'm going to do for housing. It's that simple. I don't know why people want to fucking complicate this situation. It's so dumb to try and complicate the situation. There's an entire industry, a cottage industry filled to the brim with like Yale, Harvard, and George Washington University graduates that fucking get paid $100,000 to $200,000 a year to literally complicate this process. Oh, is it because you didn't go to the right podcast? Is it because you didn't dance? You didn't find like a brat style dance for yourself? You didn't associate yourself with like a popular song or whatever? No, it's none of those things. Those things can boost you, but at the most basic level, you have to have fundamentals. You have to have solid fucking fundamentals. Okay? You can have the cleanest looking jumper of all time, but if you can't make those buckets, it doesn't fucking matter. All right? If you don't have solid fundamentals, it doesn't matter how clean your jumper looks. It doesn't matter what your gear looks like on the basketball court. You could have the coolest gear, okay? You could look like a real ass baller. But if you don't have solid fundamentals, you're gonna lose. It's that simple. You're not gonna fucking win. New memo from the Democratic ad firm Van Ness Creative Strategies, first shared with Semaphore, says the party's leaders are still failing to communicate online. The firm says if Democratic elected officials still feel uncomfortable posting, now is a great time to retire. It's not about posting. Bernie Sanders is not a fucking poster. Bernie Sanders is the greatest example of why this is stupid. I am going to keep yelling this for free 99 over and over again for any fucking Democratic consultant that wants to take this back to their campaigns and look like a brilliant strategist, okay? If you want this advice, I'm giving it to you for free. I keep giving it over and over again. Zoran organically was already on board with this, okay? He didn't have to like listen to me because that's where he was as well, personally. That's the reason why he won. Oh, this is the fucking most idiotic shit. I mean, this is just like them maintaining a lie, obviously, a lie that justifies their existence. That's the other side of this problem, okay? The other side of this issue, the other side of this problem is that there's an entire industry that revolves around justifying its own existence. So all of the fucking consultants and whatnot that go on television have to fucking make it seem like it's not the policies. Please don't say it's the policies.
David, that Republicans want it to all be Zoran Mamdani, and they want to run against him in the upcoming elections. But it sounds like the challenge for Democrats, Paul, is to make the message that there are moderates in the party as well.
And the moderates are where the energy is. The moderates are dominant. I respect Mr. Mamdani's victory. He ran a great campaign. It helped that he had a disgraced opponent in Andrew Cuomo, the former governor who had to resign. But he got 45% or so of the vote, Mamdani did, with a 30% turnout. Okay, do the math. That's 13% of New York City Democrats. That's about 450,000 people.
This is the stupidest kind of cope, dude. He got more votes than Eric Adams did, okay, in the first round, than Eric Adams did when all of the votes were collected. Please stop. This is before ranked choice. In the first round, he got more fucking votes than Eric Adams did. This is so dumb. Oh my God. They're looking at the most votes, I think the most votes any New York City mayoral candidate has gotten in a New York City mayoral primary. And they're saying it's actually, I mean, this is a tiny percentage of the fucking votes overall. I mean, come on. There's still a shot here. There's still a shot to unseat him. And please don't say it's the policies. Please don't say it's actually because he's a leftist. Please, anything but that. Please. It's like at some point, people got to realize that Bernie Sanders is not so popular because he's hot. Bernie Sanders is not so beloved as a figure because he is sexy, charismatic, and can post on social media like a demon. Okay? That's not the reason. He's 900 years old, man. He's a curmudgeon. He is a 900-year-old curmudgeon, okay? Why do people love him? Why? Why do people love Bernie? Is it because he posts like a motherfucker on social media? No. And I say this as someone who knows his social media team. It's not the fucking social media. The social media team and Bernie Sanders' like appearances on social media only work because of who he is. And who Bernie is as a politician revolves around what he fights for. Okay? That's it, guys. Stop fucking around whenever I say Bernie's not hot. Every single person goes, he's sexy. Speak for yourself. I want to suck him off. Shut up. I'm trying to make a serious point here. God damn. Fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Holy fuck.
Oklahoma. Okay, Tulsa, Oklahoma doesn't define a Republican Party. New York City shouldn't define the Democrats. Again, Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey, Abigail Spanberger in Virginia. By the way, we just won the Supreme Court race in Wisconsin, a state Trump carried. Susan Crawford won that by 11 points, despite Mr. Musk, back when he liked Trump, putting millions of dollars into the conservative candidate there. Democrats are winning everywhere, even though, as Urban Riley points out, we're directionless, rudderless, and leaderless, and yet we're winning.
Charismatic and great on social media. Discount the real reason why those qualities work in his favor. It's his policies. Bernie Sanders is also a beloved figure. He's 80 years old. Just let them fight. Libs and center right people easier for Zoran. I know, but the reason why I fucking lose my mind over this It's good for us in the primaries. It's good for us when Zoran is running against these fucking stupid Democrats who think like the magic sauce is just doing man on the street shit. Okay? But what they don't but this cooks us. This cooks us in general elections against Republicans. I want real fighters. I don't care. Okay? I don't care if they're 900-year-old demons. I want real fighters. I want real working class fighters, people who are going to fight for these fucking issues. Okay? That's why I keep repeating this over and over again. I want the Democratic Party, which is currently the only game in town, okay? Unfortunately, I want the Democratic Party to actually be a party that fights for the working class, okay? I want them to actually do something. I want them to be a successful hurdle, present a successful hurdle against the Republican agenda. I want them to be an obstructionist party when they're not in power, and I want them to be a real fighter when they are in power. I want them to consistently message the issues that Americans are experiencing, because I understand that even if I don't agree with the Democrats, ultimately, I need them to do this. The reason why I need them to do this is because if the largest counter messaging tool that we have at our disposal is not consistently undermining the Republican strategy of routinely shifting people's attention away to marginalized populations, they're going to get wiped out. Okay? This is not me being like, this is not me shepherding my audience of radicals back to the Democratic Party. Okay? This is me seeing the actual issues and trying to do some semblance of fucking harm reduction. That's it. It is because I care about making sure that that migrant workers are not fucking purged from our ranks and sent to concentration camps. It is because I care about getting people health care that I want at least the Democrats to be a vessel that will maybe not deliver that change, but at least will communicate the desires of the population so that more people can recognize that this is what they want, this is what they need. Doesn't Trump's second term serve as a counter argument to that theory? He's insufferable and vile, and his base gobbles it up. He doesn't have any real policies save for hate and bigotry, but aren't those more ideological than policy? Am I oversimplifying it? No. Trump actually plays the field that the Republican Party has designed in the past couple of decades very well. The Republicans play to culture war issues, okay? And Democrats will always lose when they are running against culture war issues. It's that simple. Democrats need to change the dynamic. Democrats need to change the rules of the game and take it back to issues that actually matter, not these distractions. Because if you're constantly playing defense on the culture war field, you're going to lose. Because the culture war field is designed by the Republicans to begin with. The idea that like the idea that like, oh, you're angry because trans people exist is clearly a successful method, especially when there is no real opposition against that kind of thing. To say like, leave trans people alone. What the fuck? These are just our neighbors. They also have the same exact issues that you do in terms of like your healthcare, right? That's the major problem for you. Your rent going up. That's a major problem for you. Every American is experiencing this issue, okay? Every single American has a cost of living problem. Every single American is experiencing an affordability crisis, okay? I saw a number the other day. It was like, if you made $100,000 in 2020, as opposed to 2025, your money is 25% less valuable because of how unaffordable things have gotten. So if your money did not go up, if you made $100,000 in 2020 and you're making $100,000 in 2025, you're making 25% less money now. Okay? That's crazy. That's crazy. You think that's not impactful? That's incredibly impactful. That's a problem that everyone experiences. And the brilliance of the Republican Party is that they recognize that issue. They recognize the anger and resentment that causes. And then they shift people's attentions back to like Mexicans. They're like, yeah, You're angry about this. Democrats don't give a fuck about fixing this. I'm going to fix it by what? By purging the country from Mexicans.